I like to go to restaurants, go for walks, go for coffee. I'm very normal, I think, outside of football, so I think...
At 16, he broke records. At 19, he captained a giant in Europe. And by his early 20s, he walked into Real Madrid wearing the number 5, a shirt once owned by legends. This is Jude Bellingham. From a quiet town in England to the biggest stages in world football. From Birmingham's youngest ever player to Dortmund's heartbeat to Madrid's new authority. A midfielder who plays like a veteran, carries pressure like armor, and lives a life that blends discipline with luxury. Welcome to the life of Jude Bellingham, where talent met timing and never looked back. Jude Bellingham was born on June 29, 2003, in Stourbridge, a quiet English town where football dreams usually echo softly before fading. But for Jude, the game wasn't a pastime, it was the air he breathed. From his earliest days, football pulled at him like a tide, constant and impossible to ignore. The sport ran deep in his blood. His father, Mark Bellingham, may never have graced global headlines, but in England's non-league world he was a relentless goal scorer, a symbol of endurance and grit. From him, Jude learned that football wasn't about glamour or applause, it was about sacrifice, about doing the same hard thing again and again until excellence became habit. Talent opened the door, but work was the only way through it. Day after day, Jude trained wherever he could. Driveways, parks, narrow patches of open space, treating every surface like a stadium pitch. He played with a calm intensity, sharp and focused, like a chess player trapped in a child's body. While others chased the ball, Jude anticipated it, reading the game as if it whispered its next move to him. At 8, he entered Birmingham City's academy, a place where many young dreams flicker and disappear. For Jude, it became a forge. He stood out not just for skill, but for composure, cool under pressure, attentive to detail, years ahead in mindset. He learned to control games the way a conductor controls an orchestra, knowing when to accelerate the tempo and when to let it breathe. Mistakes lingered with him. Wins never fully satisfied him. He wanted more, from the game and from himself. At home, his younger brother Job watched closely. Jude didn't need speeches. His standards spoke for him. Hard work was the baseline. Improvement was non-negotiable. And as Jude rose through Birmingham's ranks, captaining sides and carrying responsibility with quiet authority, it became clear he was different. By 16, the truth was undeniable. In August 2019, while most teenagers were worried about exams, Jude stepped onto a professional pitch, becoming the youngest player in Birmingham City's history. He didn't shrink or rush. He played with the same calm purpose he always had. Steady, fearless, assured. That night didn't make Jude Bellingham. It exposed him. But Birmingham City was only the prologue. In 2020, at just 17, Jude Bellingham chose discomfort over familiarity. He left England for Germany, trading safety for ambition, and joined Borussia Dortmund. The Bundesliga became his classroom, a fast, unforgiving arena, and Jude treated every match like an exam. He didn't merely adapt, he transformed. Game by game, he shaped himself into a complete midfielder, solid as iron in duels, fluid as water in motion, relentless as a storm gathering momentum. At Dortmund, leadership found him early. Responsibility sat on his shoulders like armor, heavy but empowering. When belief wavered, Jude restored it. When courage was required, he delivered. He led seasoned professionals, rose in defining moments, and played not like a prospect waiting his turn, but like a man chasing destiny at full speed. Europe took notice. By the summer of 2023, the call was inevitable. Real Madrid, a club forged in pressure and legacy, opened its doors. For many, that shirt weighs like history itself. For Jude, it was fuel. He arrived not with hesitation, but with force, crashing into La Liga like a force of nature that refused to be ignored. The goals came swiftly, and decisively. Late winners, momentum shifters, goals that felt written before the ball left his boot. From midfield, he surged forward like a tidal wave, fearless and unstoppable. In a stadium that demands greatness, Jude didn't seek approval. He claimed it, and the Bernabéu answered in kind. He wasn't just playing for Real Madrid, he was lifting them. Week after week, he owned decisive moments, blending elegance with aggression, intelligence with hunger. Fans didn't see a newcomer, they saw a leader, someone shaping the future while commanding the present. The same presence followed him onto the international stage. In England's colours, Jude carried authority and fire, unshaken by expectation. In tournaments where pressure suffocates, he thrived. Where others paused, he pushed forward. What sets Jude Bellingham apart isn't only his talent, it's his relationship with pressure. He wears it like a second skin, like steel refined by friction. The higher the stakes, the sharper he becomes. Yet through the applause and acclaim, Jude remains anchored to his foundations: discipline, humility, and an endless hunger to improve. He plays not as someone who has arrived, but as someone forever in pursuit. Jude Bellingham's professional journey is not a fairy tale. It is a declaration that greatness is built, not rushed, that talent must be sharpened to matter, and that some players don't grow into the spotlight, they seize it. Great players are remembered for moments. The rare ones are remembered for what those moments become. For Jude Bellingham, awards were never gifts. They were proof. Proof that his rise was real, and his authority undeniable. Before the world fully caught up, he had already taken control at Borussia Dortmund. Still a teenager, he played like a leader forged in fire, and the 2022-23 season became his declaration. In a league of hardened professionals, Jude was crowned Bundesliga Player of the Season, a clear message that potential had given way to command. From there, recognition surged like a breaking dam. In 2023, Europe named him the best of his generation. The Golden Boy Award and the Copa Trophy followed. 2 stages, 1 verdict. Like lightning striking twice in the same place, his dominance could no longer be brushed off as chance. But football's highest honors live where pressure is heaviest, and that pressure waited in Madrid. When Jude arrived at Real Madrid, history walked beside him. The shirt he pulled on had broken stronger names before. He didn't bend, he expanded. In his first season, he became Madrid's top league scorer from midfield and drove the club to La Liga and Champions League glory. Spain responded swiftly, naming him La Liga Player of the Season, before more silver stacked up: the Spanish Super Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, like chapters etched in bold ink. The world followed suit. Jude entered the FIF Pro World 3 years running, chosen by players who knew greatness when they faced it. In 2024, he stood on the Ballon d'Or podium, finishing 3rd, shoulder to shoulder with football's modern giants. And beyond club football, the pattern held. With England, Jude became a constant on the biggest stages, guiding his country to European Championship finals in 2020 and 2024, carrying expectation with the calm of someone built for it. What makes Jude Bellingham's honors remarkable isn't their volume, it's their weight. They came early, under scrutiny, against history. Like steel sharpened by friction, he grows stronger as the stakes rise. This is not a career shaped by hype, it is a legacy shaped by delivery. Trophies may gather dust, but Jude Bellingham's recognitions tell a clearer story of a player who doesn't chase greatness. He meets it head-on. And if this already feels like a legacy, it's only because the foundation is set. The story is still unfolding. By now, Jude Bellingham had conquered the game. The question was no longer, how good is he? It became, how valuable is he? And that's where the numbers begin to speak. Money doesn't chase attention. It bends toward gravity. And Jude Bellingham, still barely into his 20s, already pulls the football world into his orbit. At the core of his wealth stands Real Madrid, When Jude signed his 6-year deal in 2023, it wasn't just a football contract, it was a statement of value. The numbers told the story. Over 20 million euros a year, climbing past 25 million euros in peak seasons once trophies, bonuses, and honors are added. Madrid didn't just sign him, they fortified him, locking his future behind a €1 billion release clause, a financial moat as wide as ambition itself. But the pitch is only the foundation. By the mid-2000s, Jude's net worth surged past $50 million, powered not only by football, but by a brand growing faster than his highlight reels. Adidas didn't merely sponsor him, they built around him. Signature boots, global campaigns, a face reserved for generational figures. From there, luxury followed like a shadow. Louis Vuitton, Skims, Lucozade, McDonald's, EA Sports, each deal expanding his reach until his income no longer depended on match days alone. Behind the spotlight, the structure is just as deliberate. Jude's image rights flow through Bello & Bello Limited, a private vehicle guarding his name and likeness like a vault protects crown jewels. Every partnership is filtered, every move measured, and even now, he's planning beyond the final whistle. Jude has trademarked his name across fashion, food, beverages, and security. Quiet signals of future ventures. Like a sprinter mapping the finish before the gun fires, he's building exits while still accelerating toward his peak. His assets reflect the same discipline. A £5.5 million home in Madrid's La Finca. Property holdings in the UK. Not extravagance, but anchors. Wealth designed to last, not just to shine. What makes Jude Bellingham's fortune remarkable isn't the size, it's the timing. Like a skyscraper rising ahead of schedule, his financial empire has been laid early, reinforced carefully, and built to scale. This isn't reckless money. It's intentional money, structured, strategic, forward-looking. Jude Bellingham isn't just earning, he's constructing. And if this already feels like the wealth of a veteran, that's because his approach mirrors one. Calm, calculated, unhurried. For Jude, money isn't the destination, it's the platform from which he intends to rise even higher. At a certain level, success stops being loud, it becomes private. And Jude Bellingham's rise is reflected most clearly in the places he now calls home. When he landed in Madrid, Jude didn't just change cities, he crossed a threshold. Hidden inside La Finca, the capital's most exclusive enclave, stands his Spanish stronghold, a £5.5 million mansion spanning nearly 7,000 square feet. Shielded behind gates shared by football royalty, the home reflects his game. Clean lines, quiet power, ruthless efficiency. 6 bedrooms, a private cinema, a gym built for precision, a pool that glows beneath the Spanish sun. From the garden, the land rolls toward the mountains, the view stretching endlessly, like ambition with no ceiling. But Madrid was only the opening move. Back in England, where it all began, Jude is laying deeper foundations. In Barnt Green, Worcestershire, a place often likened to football's Alderley Edge, he's investing £7 to £8 million into a 2-acre private estate. 2 homes rise there, one for himself, one for his parents. Not indulgence, but intention. Success, anchored by family. The main residence unfolds over 4 floors, designed as a refuge rather than a showcase. 5 ensuite bedrooms. A cinema below ground. Indoor pool, spa, sauna, gym, every detail built for recovery and focus. A trophy room planned not for display, but for history still being written. An internal lift ties it all together, turning the house into a self-contained world, efficient and calm. These aren't impulse purchases, they're anchors. With a property portfolio already exceeding £13 to £14 million and whispers of future ventures in Madrid's ultra-elite La Moraleja, Jude's approach is unmistakable. Like his midfield play, every move is measured. Secure locations, long-term value, privacy over spectacle. These aren't homes for headlines. They're fortresses built to last. Madrid gives him proximity to power. England gives him roots and refuge. Together, they tell a story bigger than luxury. A young man building stability at the same pace he builds legacy, brick by brick, floor by floor, without rush or noise. Because for Jude Bellingham, a house isn't just where you live. It's where you prepare, where you recover, where you plan the next ascent. And if these homes already feel like those of a veteran icon, it's because Jude isn't living for the moment. He's building for the future. Trophies mark where you've been. Cars reveal how you move forward. Speed has always lived in Jude Bellingham's shadow. On the pitch, it explodes through midfield runs. Off it hums beneath the hood. When Jude arrived in Madrid, movement took on new meaning. Every drive, toward training, toward match day, through the city's wide boulevards, became a quiet statement. And like his football, the machines he moves in speak of control, power, and intent. At the center of it all sits the BMW XM, a vehicle that mirrors his presence on the pitch. Broad, dominant, impossible to ignore. Chosen through Real Madrid's BMW partnership, it's a plug-in hybrid SUV valued around £150,000, blending brute force with modern precision. With 653 horsepower unleashed by a twin-turbo V8 and electric drive, it surges from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 4 seconds, moving like a heavyweight sprinter, calm at rest, ferocious on command. That choice was no coincidence. The same model is driven by teammates like Kylian Mbappé and Luka Modric, a shared signal of rank inside a squad built on authority. Beyond the XM, Jude rotates through other elite BMWs, the i4 M50, iX, and i7, machines priced between €80,000 and €165,000. Sleek, electric, and sharp-edged, they reflect a clear preference: innovation without compromise, sustainability without softness. Earlier in his journey, before Madrid's spotlight burned so brightly, Jude drove Mercedes-Benz models, an understated entry into luxury. As his career accelerated, so did the caliber of what carried him forward. What stands out isn't excess, but restraint. There are no hypercars screaming for attention, no garage built to shock. Jude's automotive choices mirror his character: efficient, powerful, and forward-looking. Even within club regulations, his cars don't shout. They command, like a presence that doesn't need to announce itself. Jude Bellingham doesn't chase luxury. He curates it. Everything he indulges in is deliberate, high-end, restrained, quietly expensive. Fashion leads the way. As a Louis Vuitton ambassador, he moves in custom tailoring and elevated streetwear where a single look can cost £10,000 to £20,000, worn with the ease of a perfectly timed pass. Clean lines, exact fit, total control. Time matters too. His wrist carries elite Swiss watches valued between £40,000 and £150,000. No loud diamonds, just weight, heritage, and precision. Like a metronome ticking under pressure. Jewelry follows the same rule. Bespoke, minimal, 5-figure pieces that whisper rather than shout. But his biggest splurges aren't objects, they're experiences. Private travel, secluded escapes, absolute privacy. One getaway can pass £100,000. What he's buying isn't luxury, it's silence. Performance is non-negotiable. Jude invests 6 figures annually in recovery. Private physios, cryotherapy, hyperbaric sessions, tailored nutrition, sleep science. Not indulgence, insurance. Technology stays premium and purposeful. Everything optimized. Nothing wasted. Now stepping into his personal life, Jude Bellingham stands in constant light, yet keeps his private world in shadow. Fame found him early, but he never let it choose his heart. Rumors drifted past like background noise, never confirmed, never denied. He learned young that privacy is leverage. Then, in early 2025, the curtain shifted. Just enough. In Madrid, Jude appeared with Ashlyn Castro in moments that felt almost ordinary. Quiet lunches, unguarded walks, shared seats at matches. Their relationship didn't announce itself. It settled in. No rollout, no performance, just presence, steady as a heartbeat. Jude Bellingham's intensity built his reputation. It also placed him directly in the line of controversy. Jude Bellingham's controversies aren't born of scandal. They're sparked by fire. The first flare-up came in 2021. Just 18, Jude spoke out after a heated Bayern-Dortmund clash, questioning the appointment of referee Felix Zweier and referencing his past match-fixing ban. The response was swift, a €40,000 fine. No suspension, just a sharp reminder that truth, when hurled in anger, can cut both ways. That edge only sharpened in Madrid. In February 2025, Jude was sent off against Osasuna after a tense exchange with the referee. He claimed the words were aimed inward, a flash of self-frustration, not dissent. The appeal failed. A two-match ban followed, and the familiar question resurfaced. Was this passion spilling over, or leadership refusing to dim? Then came the loudest clash of all. The media. At Euro 2024, Jude swung from England's savior to its scapegoat almost overnight. His body language, his silence in press rooms, his visible frustration were picked apart frame by frame. Jude later said he felt mistreated, accusing journalists of crossing the line by involving his family. From that point on, he chose quiet, letting football speak where words no longer could. Even within Real Madrid, the pressure rose with his stature. By 2026, reports spoke of internal conversations about composure and leadership. Not discipline, but expectation. The weight that comes with being central to everything. These moments don't define Jude Bellingham. They reveal him. Jude Bellingham's luxury isn't about showing off. It's about being in control. Every choice, measured. Every indulgence, earned. Nothing wasted. Nothing accidental. This isn't flash. It's focus. Because while others chase the lifestyle, Jude Bellingham lives it, without letting it slow him down. If you enjoyed this look into the luxury behind the talent, like, subscribe, and stay locked in. The ceiling isn't in sight, and this journey is just getting started.